And guys, really exciting news. We have our final guest joining us right now. And you heard Arun mention their work. Tuck Woodstock, welcome.
Hi.
Hi, thanks so much for coming.
Of course.
And Tuck, you've done a bunch of really great video shooting. Do you want, what should we start with? Anyone have any recommendations about which video in particular?
Whatever you want.
Too prolific. Okay, let's see. Let me open this up. All right, what do we got here? Actually, Arun mentioned the video that you shot of the man who broke his arm, I believe.
Yeah, it turns out there were two men who broke their arm at the same night, but there's definitely one of them. Yeah, for sure. There's one in North Portland and there's one in downtown.
Got it. Is this right? Is this it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right. Mm-hmm. Everyone just chased into the highway, then bull rushed again. This man was thrown to the ground multiple times and is now bleeding badly from multiple wounds on his face. He is dazed and clearly needs a medic, but we are still moving away from the police. And then you're an update on this man. He's currently in the ER. He has multiple breaks on his left arm alone and possibly needs surgery. And if this is the person Arun was talking about, he did indeed have surgery.
Mm-hmm.
The Portland Police Bureau. This event has been deemed a riot. Move to the east now. If you do not move to the east, subject to arrest and or use of force, including crowd control munitions. Leave the area now. This is the Portland Police Bureau. This event has been deemed a riot. Move to the east now. If you do not move to the east, you'll be subject to arrest.
Wow. So, first of all, what's it like just documenting that? Are you scared yourself in the moment when it's happening?
I guess. I don't know. I feel less scared than the protesters should be because the majority of the violence is directed towards protesters, and technically Portland police is not supposed to be arresting or assaulting us per the restraining order against them. And so I feel relatively less threatened, but it's not like there's a zero chance that I will be hurt. There was another journalist that same hour who was thrown to the ground by PPB and had to leave the scene because they were so injured. And a couple of nights ago, Portland police arrested a journalist, which they're explicitly not allowed to do. And so, yeah, there's some risk, but it feels like, so far I have been very lucky compared to other journalists, and that the worst thing that's happened to me is being tear gassed repeatedly and being physically shoved. And that's pretty good for being a journalist covering these things.
Right. What about the rest of you? What have you faced so far?
I feel like tear gas has become standard for whenever you go out now. But I don't know. I feel like I have such a privilege to be a member of the press. I show up dressed as politely as I can be to indicate that I look like a member of the press. And I also kind of lean heavily on the frail woman vibe. I'm a white woman. I'm salaried. I have the luxury of having a lot of people who follow me on the internet. And so I'm able to take videos and give, some kind of truthful explanation about what's going on. And I don't know, I definitely don't feel afraid. I wouldn't put myself out there if I felt super uncomfortable and really afraid. I think that it's a false narrative that people are, if people are putting themselves out there and wanting, we're all doing it because we feel like we have maybe a public duty or public service in some ways, and we have a voice, we have a platform. Compared to many other journalists who are out there, I have not faced much aggression or violence. Shot a lot of snot rockets from tear gas.
Sergio?
Pressure's I have a slightly different answer. We all covered the Antifa, Proud Boy, Patriot Prayer rallies that have been going on here for years. And so those were journalists were treated as neutral observers, right? Police didn't even pay attention to us. We could walk through police lines. They didn't care about us. For a couple of days here, that was true. and then it quickly went away where we were treated the same as protesters. Like, and like, you know, it got to the point where, like, you saw the video of Zane Sparling where he was trying to run away from a police officer, and the police officer came around the corner to push him, like, away from the police line. He said media, the cop said, I don't give a shit, you know, get out of here. I got hit in, like, the mouth, like, with a baton, when I was behind a police officer. You know, like, I wear press all over me, and I dress like a yuppie. Like, no one's I have a Kevlar, but I dress in stuff that I don't even wear in regular life, just to look, like, not threatening, right? I don't dress in black. Like, and I was like, hey, I'm behind you. Guy didn't hear me. There's 2 police officers in right here. I'm like, hey, I'm behind you, because I don't want to sneak up on a police officer, right? And so they turn around, and I'm like, I'm behind you. I'm going this way. And, like, I guess there was, like, a way I should have gone, and he, like, just hit me with the baton, got a bruised lip, and then, like, put the mace in my face or whatever. He didn't mace me. But, like, the next day I was, like, adamant, you know, like, we need a letter, a very strongly worded letter, that this is not the way it should be. Because I thought that, like, it was a departure from the way things were when there were thousands of people in the street. There were riots declared. There were, you know, fist fights. Like, all those rallies beforehand, you know, we didn't escalate to this. So is there fear out there? Like, there was fear. Like, honestly, I know Tuck and Alex are fearless, but, like, this Mexican at some point did start feeling the fear. And like, especially night after night, where you're getting tear gas, flashbanged, and then, like, the cops you don't know if they're going to hit you with the impact munitions to the face, or if they're going to hit you with a baton, or if they're not going to do anything, right? Like, just the not knowing. You're like an animal in fear night after night, and you just want to get to safety, right? But you can't, because you got to cover this thing. And so when we had the federal injunction, right, the ACLU lawsuit, it did feel like Portland police were making an effort not to mess with journalists. And you did feel a little better. And then the federal agents showed up, and the fear just came right back, because I have no idea what they're about. I feel as worried as I've ever have filming around them, because I don't know what they're about. So I'll just say, like, you know, for other journalists who feel fear covering these events, like, absolutely no shame. Like, I fucking had, like, panic attacks coming home now, like eating a Jack in the Box, like, you know, in adrenaline, I'm totally cool. But, like, I'm like, I don't know, man. I'll sit in my car for like 2 hours on Twitter and just be like, I don't even know where I was going, or walk into rooms. I have no idea what I was going to do in that room. So definitely the fear has an effect.
Yeah, I want to add that there certainly is after effects of what this is. I think when I'm on the ground, I'm very kind of adrenaline high, and in the moment, I think we probably all are, and we're just kind of like, what's going on? Who should we be watching? What's wrong here? But the days that I'm not there, I just feel it in my whole body. It's just like a constant, like the days after go out, which I don't go out as frequently as Tuck and Sergi, and so when I do, I have to kind of mentally prepare for, like, the unwinding that comes after those 2 days, where my body just, like, kind of slowly decompresses. But you know, you're just super jumpy all the time, and you're just trying to kind of unpack what's going on. It's something that I think will last with a lot of us journalists, and also, you know, members of the public who maybe have never even been to a protest like this before. There's going to be lasting effect.